Our environment, what ails it? In this lesson, our environment, food chain, human beings and environment, effect of pollution on health, how to protect environment, the greenhouse effect. Our environment. These days we often hear the term environment. Do you know what the word environment actually means? All the things that surround us are collectively known as environment. Environment consists of all living and non-living things around us: plants, animals, air, water, land, buildings, roads, human beings, etc. All the things that make up the environment are called its components. The components of the environment can be classified into two parts: abiotic and biotic. Abiotic environment. The abiotic environment consists of non-living things. It includes air, water, land and soil. They are means of sustenance to different living things. The climatic factors like rainfall, sunlight, wind, etc. affect the distribution of living organisms. In hilly areas where there is a lot of sunlight and rainfall, we find a large variety of plants and animals. Unlike a desert where there is very little vegetation and very few animals live. Biotic environment. The biotic environment consists of living things: plants, animals, and human beings. The biotic components are present on the portion of the earth called biosphere, which in turn includes part of lithosphere, land, hydrosphere, water and part of atmosphere, troposphere. Biotic components are of three types: producers, consumers and decomposers. Producers. Green plants can produce their own food. They are thus known as producers or autotrophs. Consumers. Animals and human beings are consumers as they consume the food produced by the producers. They are known as heterotrophs. Consumers are of three types: herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Herbivore, carnivore, omnivore. Decomposers. Decomposers include microbes, bacteria and fungi which feed on dead plants and animals, and decompose them into simpler substances, which are returned back to the soil. Certain animals like vultures and eagles also feed on dead animals, and are known as scavengers. Food chain. Under normal conditions, there is a balance between various biotic components and also between biotin and antibiotic components. A food chain starts with plants and ends with animals. All animals depend on plants for food. Plants prepare food with the help of sunlight, water and carbon dioxide. If one part of the food chain breaks, the whole chain is affected. When plants and animals die, decomposers break down their dead bodies into nutrients and return them back to the soil. Thus, we see that nutrients which are taken up by the biotin factors are returned back to the antibiotic environment. This cycle goes on uninterrupted in nature. Human beings and environment. There is interdependence between abiotic and biotic components of the earth. Human beings depend on the environment for their needs. With the increase in population, this dependence has further increased. We are dependent on the environment for our basic needs like water, air, food and shelter. Over the years, human activities have brought about several harmful changes in the environment. There is less greenery as more and more forests are being cut down in order to build houses, factories, roads, etc. The pollution level is also on the rise. There is less fresh air to breathe. This is resulting in warming of the environment. Many species of animals and plants are becoming extinct because of pollution, hunting and destruction of their habitats. How are human beings affecting the quality of the environment? Deforestation. A large number of forests are being cut down for building houses, setting up industries, agriculture, etc. This has resulted in an imbalance in nature. Industrialization. More and more factories are being set up. The products manufactured by them have indeed made human life more comfortable, but the manufacturing process has adversely affected the quality of the environment. Toxic gases like carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide are released into the atmosphere. causing air pollution. Industrial waste released in the water bodies causes water pollution. This not only kills aquatic plants and animals but is also harmful to human health. Increasing number of vehicles. The number of vehicles on the roads is also increasing with the increase in population. Due to this, harmful gases, smoke, etc., are released into the air. Vehicles not only cause air pollution but are also responsible for noise pollution through blowing of horns and noise of their engines. Dumping of wastes. Wastes such as plastic, glass bottles and metal containers cause land pollution. Excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides is responsible for causing soil pollution, air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution. Effect of pollution on health. The various kinds of pollution have a harmful effect on the health of human beings. Air pollution causes diseases like asthma, bronchitis, pneumonia, lung cancer, etc. Water pollution can cause cholera, dysentery and typhoid. Soil pollution reduces the fertility of the soil, thereby reducing crop yield. How to protect our environment? Plant more trees. Industrial waste must be first treated before being dumped into water bodies. Factories should be shifted to the outskirts. Factories should have tall chimneys with filters to let out smoke and gas. Natural fertilizers should be preferred to chemical fertilizers. Reuse and recycle used and discarded materials like newspapers, plastics and metals into new, useful products. Save water and electricity. Use cloth and jute bags instead of plastic bags. Reuse and recycle. This is done to reduce the accumulation of waste like metals, paper, clothes, rubber and plastic in landfills. These materials can be reused directly or first recycled and then reused. Rubber. Used tires can be cut into shapes of swing seats, climbing frames, and rubber slippers or chappals. Rubber tubes are used to make jewelry items like beads, rings and bracelets. Old truck tires are recycled to make playground surfaces, pencil pouches and diary covers. Metal. Metal objects thrown away by people as waste can also be reused. Pipes, rods and gates can be bought cheaply from scrap dealers. Metal sheets with holes can be used to make racks and cages. Craftsmen also buy metal scrap and melt it to make frames, decoration pieces and jewelry. Empty aluminum cans can be cleaned, shredded, melted and reshaped into new cans for reuse. Even new cars have some recycled parts of old cars. The greenhouse effect. Greenhouse is a small house made of glass for growing plants in winter. The glass traps the heat of the sun and does not allow it to escape through the glass walls. The plants are kept warm to survive the winters. Some gases in the atmosphere like carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, nitrous oxide and ozone trap the heat of the sun and prevent it from escaping back. These gases are known as greenhouse gases. They are responsible for the greenhouse effect. The natural process of maintaining the Earth's temperature and keeping it warm is known as the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, and water vapor trap the infrared radiations emitted back by the Earth when it cools at night. This causes a rise in temperatures across the globe. Carbon dioxide. For the last 100 years, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has been increasing steadily. The main reasons for this are burning of fossil fuels and destruction of rainforests, which are the lungs of the Earth. Further increase in carbon dioxide levels will result in more heat trapped and increase in average global temperatures. Methane. Methane is a natural gas released by grass-eating animals upon digestion into the atmosphere. Animal waste or manure is also used as fertilizers. This releases more methane into the atmosphere. Methane also warms our planet. Water vapor. Water vapor accounts for 35–75% of greenhouse effect. Ozone. Ozone also traps heat and is found in the stratosphere. Chlorofluorocarbons. CFCs. Chlorofluorocarbons are chemicals commonly used in refrigerators, air conditioners, and in various other industrial processes. They also warm up the atmosphere. They are chiefly responsible for the damage to the ozone layer. Global warming. Greenhouse gases trap heat energy of the sun and cause a rise in temperature on the earth. This is called global warming. In the last 100 global warming years, the average temperature of the earth has increased by 1 degree Fahrenheit, and in the next century it may rise further by 2 degree Fahrenheit, 6 degree Fahrenheit. This will cause drastic changes in the weather and climatic patterns. Effects of global warming. Change in climate. Melting of ice at the poles. Increase in water level of oceans. Flooding of coastal areas. Efforts to reduce the greenhouse effect. Using electricity carefully. Growing more trees. Reusing and recycling products. Using fossil fuel judiciously. Pooling cars and using public transport. Switching off computers, television, etc. when not in use. Making minimum use of things which release chlorofluorocarbons (CFCs) into the air.